Hello, everyone. I am Becca Weber. My husband Dan and I have been members of Christ Lutheran for about 2 years now. My particular faith story seems to be closely tied to music. Each time I struggle with doubt, the music always seems to draw me back in. So I've chosen to describe my faith story tonight in vignettes connected to some of my favorite songs and hymns. We'll start with one that I've loved since my childhood, which I have learned is actually a Catholic hymn. I grew up in an ELCA church, but we had a music minister that snuck some Catholic hymns in there for us. It's called Be Not Afraid. The main line of the chorus is, "Be not afraid, I go before you always. Come follow me, and I will give you rest." So like I said, yeah, I grew up in an ELCA church. I attended Sunday school most Sundays. One of my favorite Sunday school events to attend was called Bible Jeopardy! The leaders would create questions of varying difficulty to test our biblical knowledge, and we did have to answer in the traditional way of what is. And there was always a trick question about King Nebuchadnezzar, so it was very important that we all knew how to spell his name correctly. My Bibles at home were still barely touched. Sunday school was enough to teach me. I tried to be a nice person. I tried to care for those around me. My church had very strong outreach ministry programs to help those in need. We made care packages for deployed troops, raised money through poker games to assist a church in Peru, and regularly sold fair trade coffee and chocolate. So many ways to help my neighbor, and yet I still didn't always get the message. I felt like I did enough. I'm nice enough to church people, so I must be doing okay. I completed confirmation and finally gave my Bible some attention. And my confirmation project concluded with a clarinet duet of Josh Groban's classic, "You Raise Me Up." The written portion detailed how Jesus lifts us up and makes us strong, or as Josh Groban says, "You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be." And then came high school, a place filled with hormones and the pressure to succeed. Band was both a safe place and a place of anxiety. Such an interesting combination. When rehearsals went well, it was magnificent for everyone. When I didn't pull my weight, it was embarrassing and shameful. I struggled with individual auditions, but I had some good days too. My focus on Sunday school faded, but God was always there waiting for me to face the music. Whenever I found myself anxious, I reminded myself of two things that I still remind myself of today. As my parents always like to remind me, number one, I will always do my best, and that's all I can do. Number two, be not afraid, I go before you always. My second favorite song that I chose for tonight, I'll actually have the opportunity to sing up here later. It's called Sanctuary. One thing that I enjoyed most growing up was church camp, a welcoming and accepting place where we could be ourselves. Simple music with guitar accompaniment brought us together in worship. There were plenty of ridiculous songs included before meals as well, but most of it related back to Jesus. Something about singing around a campfire or in a chapel on the side of a hill brought the worship to life. We'd open with an upbeat praise song, followed by readings and a short sermon. And then as worship came to a close, we would sing Sanctuary. This particular piece is simple, yet beautiful, a reminder that we are meant for more than just earthly matters. We are made to be a sanctuary for Jesus. These words carried me through many difficult times in my adolescent years and young adult years. It served as a reminder that I could not always see where I was headed, but I could always strive to be the person Jesus intended me to be. The song repeats itself and became like a meditation for me, exploring what it meant to be a sanctuary for Jesus with the words, "Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you." My last piece that I chose is a contemporary worship piece called "Yet Not I, But Through Christ in Me." To quote a chorus, "To this I hold, my hope is only Jesus. All the glory evermore to him. When the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me." Dan and I have lived in 3 different states since we got married in 2013. Our first stop was Louisiana, the home to a vibrant cultural and musical scene. I finished my education at LSU while Daniel was stationed in the Marines in New Orleans. We found a loving church family in Laplace, and we became part of the community. 2 years later, I graduated, and Daniel left the Marine Corps to begin his undergraduate degree. We found ourselves in Daytona Beach, Florida. Beautiful beaches and NASCAR made Daytona an exciting place to be. And it also happened to be only an hour away from Disney World and Universal, which we did frequent. And it also afforded us the opportunity to scuba dive. I learned how to scuba dive. It's a great way to explore God's creation under the water. It was beautiful. And I got to swim with sharks. So luckily, there were also churches in the area. We found a caring church community and rebuilt our lives once again. Once Dan finished his undergrad, we relocated to Virginia, in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We could see the beauty of God's creation all around us. Our time in Blacksburg gave us new friends, our lovely daughter Eleanor, and a wonderful new church family. Dan successfully defended his doctoral dissertation, accepted a job at Lockheed, and brought us to California. I wish that I could say this was our easiest move, but that would be dishonest. Just a week or two after moving to Palmdale, a dog broke out of a fence and attacked our black lab. She made a full recovery, but our other dog suffered. She had seizures and passed away a few days later. Thanksgiving and Christmas passed, and we felt isolated in a new state with no local friends or family. But we also, shortly after, found out that we were pregnant with Timmy, so a little bit of joy in a difficult time. We found our way to Christ Lutheran as we explored Lutheran churches in our area. No matter where we lived, we have always been able to find a loving church home. We also got lucky that they all happened to be Lutheran. No matter where we found ourselves, the body of Christ was always present in some way, shape, or form, a constant reminder of God's omnipresence. It is through the grace of God that we were able to rebuild our lives in each of these moves. Sometimes rebuilding has been easy, other times it has been more difficult. I do have to admit that I was almost unable to even get a California driver's license. The DMV insisted that my 12-year-old Texas marriage license was purely ceremonial and not a legitimate license. I may have, not very kindly, explained that 3 other states had already accepted a certified copy of the very document that they labeled as illegitimate. Thankfully, the DMV worker was able to take the document back and research, or more than likely Google it, to find out that it was in fact legitimate. Whatever challenges we have faced, God has always been there, clearly present through gracious neighbors, supportive family, and compassionate church families. We are extremely grateful for everyone who has helped us along the way. Seeing all the embodiments of Christ around me helps to remind me that it is, and always has been, yet not I, but through Christ in me. Thank you.